I was about 14 years old when I got sectioned under the Mental Health Act. I'd repeatedly been overdosing. I was self-harming quite badly at that stage, suffering a lot, struggling with school, struggling at home. I'd run away several times, got put in foster care. I had a very unsettled way of life. I stayed in there for about 9 months before leaving, going back into foster care, and then I ended up living on my own from the age of 16. For the next 10-15 years, I was in and out of mental health services, repeatedly presenting at my GP surgery in crisis, repeatedly going through the mental health system again and again and again. I was also self-medicating, got really heavily addicted to cannabis, which I used every single day. I would wake up on a morning and immediately get stoned to numb out the feelings that were really haunting me, which I just thought that my pain was me, and I was identifying with my pain and the difficulties that I'd been through in childhood. But after many years, I've kind of learned a way through that's led me to what I'm doing today. The turning point for me was when I fell to my knees in suffering. And there's a Rumi quote which I love, which is, "The wound is the place that the light enters you." And it's about those moments that we go into such deep suffering that we are cracked open and we have no choice but to surrender to our knees. I remember laying in bed and I'd started to listen to some spiritual texts at that time. Everything I'd heard, they'd mentioned a book called A Course in Miracles, and I started to find a way through. I started to disidentify from the pain. I started to disidentify from the story that I am a traumatized little girl. We can witness our pain as a separate part of us and hold compassion for that part. And it's within this space that we become the watcher of the pain rather than identifying with it. And that's when we can do something about it. I want to be very, very clear as well about recovery not being linear. I want to be very, very clear that recovery is not an end point to get to. And I don't want to deceive anyone and say, I'm healed, because I do so much in this world. I'm designing services for the NHS. I'm doing loads of public speaking on mental health. I'm seen as really high functioning. I'm not going to lie to anyone that I don't suffer. And I think it's very, very important to be real about that. There's days still when the fear overtakes me and I get these responses in the body, but I don't believe in them anymore. And that's the difference. It's not that the suffering ends, but it's that I've found a way to navigate the world with it. And that's been a really powerful journey for me. I've been fortunate enough to be positioned in a space where I'm able to infiltrate the services that once weren't able to serve me the way that I'd have really, really loved. And the passion that I have because of what I went through within the mental health system has fired me up to want to change things for the better. I want to reach as many people as suffering as possible with the program that I've created. We all have the power to take our pain and make it into purpose. That's certainly what I really want to do within my life. Transform those traumatic experiences that could very well have broken me, but they haven't, and they won't.